To what extent do you think not-for-profits are aware of how much public perceptions around issues like cost of living are influencing federal and state government?
Often I hear cost of living being used as, oh, we've got a new argument to fight for what we were going to fight for anyway. I think it needs to be more nuanced than that and actually be naming the drivers of the crisis, which is the power of energy companies, the unfair tax systems that we've got around housing, and the duopoly of supermarkets, and getting more granular on naming the problem rather than just taking cost of living as a meme that everyone pins onto their pet issue, I think is a much more constructive contribution. I think for those of us that say, regardless of how happy we might be with the Labor government, we would rather have a progressive party than the coalition, those are really important discussions to have. And the theory of change that starts with, well, let's land a progressive government back in power, whether it's minority or majority, and then let's work in that framework to get progressive change, because the chances of it going the other way are real. And I feel that a lot of people that work in the not-for-profit sector live in the bubble close to cities, and while their clients might be out in other areas, their conversations are very different to the conversations that are happening outside the sort of educated university elites who have a, let's face it, an oversized influence in the way public debates go on. So there's a lot of thinking to be done, and I think that everything's clear in the rearview mirror. So after we see what's landed in the election, it'll be very clear what the impact of civil society has been. I've been critical of the inability of organisations to mobilise their people. The other thing I would say is I don't think the role of civil society is so much to get stories in the media or petitions that are emailing MPs. It's actually to get your membership base and have those conversations with them. And don't assume they're with you. Find out where they're at and then give them an explainer of what's going on. Our information ecosystem is so full of noise and anger at the moment, particularly post-Trump, that just getting people's attention on boring stuff like getting a renewable energy transition to 40% on the way to 80%, getting wages moving, getting the care economy going in aged care and early learning. Like they're not as excitable. They're not going to get served up by the algorithm as the thing at the top of people's feeds. So finding other ways around that distortion of the public debate is a really important contribution that not-for-profits and civil society can make as well.